Okay, I'm going to try to say this in 60 seconds. If you have a sitting desk job or you're a competitive athlete or you have travel days, you need to be working on your psoas, your hip flexors, your quads, and loosening all that stuff up. Why? Because if your hips are anteriorly rotated, it's going to stretch out your core. Probably happened because your core was weak, and that's going to cause compression in your lower spine. It's also going to cause excessive curvature in your upper spine and in your cervical spine. So that's going to internally rotate your shoulders, push your scapula out wide. You're going to have ribs popping out of place. You're going to get biceps tendinopathy, shoulder pains. Then your throwing mechanics are going to be off. You're going to mess up your elbow. You might even get some wrist injuries. You're probably going to develop thoracic outlet syndrome where you're getting nerve pain down your arm. What else? It's also going to force the diaphragm to be a major spinal stabilizer. So that's going to decrease your ability to breathe as well when you're in this anterior pelvic tilt position. What else we got going on? I mean, if you can't breathe, then your oxygen supply to your whole body is going to be limited. Your endurance is going to go down. Your power production is going to go down. Your recovery is going to go down, and even your sleep might get worse. Let's go down to the lower body now. All right. So we've got anterior pelvic tilt because of those weak core, but on the lower part of your body, it's also because of a weak or stretched out glutes. So we need to work on the glutes and activation patterns to get those firing again. And if you don't, then you're going to be excessively reliant on your hamstrings, and you're going to end up pulling your hamstrings or tearing your hamstrings, or just being slower and less flexible because they're constantly under tension and overactive. Let's add to that the fact that your femur bone, the hip bone, is going to internally rotate when we're in that anterior pelvic tilt position, and this is going to cause your knees to go a little knock-kneed, which if you follow any sports, you've seen this overwhelming epidemic of basically NFL football players and high school girls and older, but just tearing their ACLs. This is because of this biomechanic pattern caused by sitting. It's also a result of turf fields. But going on, when your knees are internally rotated, it's also going to internally rotate your femur, so you're going to end up with shin splints, usually on the inside, but I mean, it's variable. And also what's going to happen is that's going to internally rotate the talus joint, in your ankle, and you could end up with an arch drop, so then you're going to get plantar fasciitis. You might get some stress fractures. You're also, while everything's internally rotated and medial, your patella might start to glide laterally, and then you're going to get patellofemoral pain syndrome in your knee, just kind of nondescript pain. You're also going to get IT band syndrome because your IT band is now a forward flexor instead of a lateral stabilizer. And people are always like, my IT band's so tight, and I'm like, it stabilizes your hip and your knee. It's supposed to be tight. It shouldn't be painful, though. If it is, it's probably because of this anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, how do you get rid of it? Loosen up the psoas, relax the back. You can just use kinesio tape for that. The back spasms aren't from doing anything to the back. They're just from other muscle groups not contributing what they need to do, right? So maybe some K-tape on the lower back. Loosen up the psoas. Active release technique is probably the best technique for that. And then strengthen and reactivate the glute muscles and your transverse abdominis and your core, basically, which should be the main stabilizer of your spine, but with most people in modern times it just isn't. And anyway, that's about as fast as I could go through everything related to anterior pelvic tilt. If you've got any questions, hit me up, J to the AT on all my social accounts, and my new website is coloradoathletictraining.com. And I provide athletic training for private clients, event coverage, and corporate wellness. And I'd be happy to give a talk at any gym or, just meet with you one-on-one. Thanks.